Okay, so I mean, not to flip back and forth too much here, but it's such a great dialogue, and we're understanding the importance of it's not just what we eat, it's other lifestyle factors.
Yes,
and he had said creating an alkaline lifestyle, not just eating alkaline foods.
Right.
Alkaline being the opposite to acidic.
Right.
What examples can you give someone in the diet, though, that would be more alkaline forming and that people should incorporate into their diet?
Well, most vegetables and fruits are alkaline forming, and this is why it's good to base your diet on 80% alkaline forming foods. Most meats, fats, and grains are acid forming, so that's an easy way. There are a few exceptions. Cranberries are acid forming. They have tremendous benefits, but they're acid forming. But nobody's going to base their diet on 80% cranberries, so it's not something we need to worry about.
And reading through your book, which I just want to recommend to the viewers once again, Nourishing the Body Temple, and the other one with the Visionary Medicine, but I'm referring to this one right now because it has a chart in it about the different choices that are alkaline versus acidic, and so wonderful for people to start looking at what they're putting into their body. I mean, almonds, for example, are a especially healing food, and they're alkaline.
That's true. They have a large amount of calcium, which is an alkaline forming mineral. Magnesium, they have very healthy fatty acids. Edgar Cayce said that if you eat 3 almonds a day, you will never have cancer. You never need to fear cancer. So that's a tremendous way of helping to prevent cancer, and certainly not one that's very difficult for most of us to pursue.
Oh, I mean, think of people who take all these different tablets and potions and pills. Like, I mean, 3 almonds, and there's joy in that because almonds taste, they have a bit of sweetness to them. They help with the appetite.
Yes, almonds have always enjoyed a sort of royal status among nuts and seeds.
Would you have to soak it first?
Well, ideally you probably should, but if you're just eating 3, your digestive system should be able to handle it. If you eat a handful, I would recommend soaking them for a few hours, because nuts tend to be harder to digest than fruits and vegetables.
And as far as digestion goes, that's a whole topic of eating more raw foods and getting the right enzymes.
Yes, that's true. Without enzymes, we aren't able to digest anything, and the body produces enzymes through the pancreas, very specific enzymes tailored for specific foods like proteins, carbohydrates, etc. But the amazing thing with raw foods is that they come with their own enzymes, the enzymes that are required for their digestion. So when we eat a raw food, we don't need to call on the enzymes of our body to help digest that food. The food brings its own enzymes, and that really preserves our internal enzymes.
I'm almost getting the impression that there's less energy needed, so there's less work involved.
That's it. The body doesn't have to work as hard. That's exactly the point, yes.
And over time, by eating, say, foods that are fast foods or fatty or high starch, do we lose a lot of our enzymes, or are those something that naturally reoccur in our system?
Well, the enzymes are produced on an ongoing basis, but there's an enzyme potential that the body has, and depending on how much you preserve that or not, the body will become energy depleted. And certainly by keeping the body healthy with lots of raw foods, you just naturally preserve that potential. And also you lessen toxicity in your body of waste products.
I'm detecting a real theme here. It's almost this whole feeling of preservation, nurturance, replenishment. And isn't that so key? And yet how many people really do that level of self-care?
That's true. And it's self-preservation really, but it's also beyond that, it's just a normal thing, and it's working with nature, just working with the natural forces of life to do it in the most efficient way.
Neat. And isn't CARE, C-A-R-E, an acronym for Cayce?
Yes, it stands for the Cayce way of preserving health, which stands for circulation, assimilation, relaxation, and elimination.
Kind of says it all, doesn't it? It's like the whole cycle.
And of course, each one of these letters have like a big science associated with them. There's so much we need to do to increase our circulation: massage therapy, exercise, and Cayce Care. Relaxation includes sleep, meditation, anything you do for a good time. So
wonderful. Well, I'm just wanting to remind the viewers that these are the 2 books, and they can go to your website, which is www.holistic, with an H, -nutrition, gmail.com.
That's right.
And they can get your books, and they can call you or email you for questions. But your main focus is on the writing and getting this information out there. Which thank you for doing that. You write often for Alive magazine.
Alive magazine, yes, and the Cayce magazine, Venture Inward.
Okay, which is like the Edgar Cayce magazine that comes out of Virginia.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, and to look at that, they could look at the website edgarcayce.org.
EdgarCayce.org.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe people like to see a little bit of a picture. This is a picture of Edgar Cayce right here.
Yes.
And then people can get a view of this man who is obviously blessed with many gifts.
Right.
And gifts that he passed on to many, many people. And in turn, you are imparting them on to many. So thank you, Simone.
My little help role.
A big piece. So let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll go into further details. Okay. Thank you.
Fine, thank you.
Welcome back to the second half of our show, The Body, Mind, Spirit, and Motion. I'm your host, Jill Hewlett. For any questions or comments, please visit my website at jillhewlett.com. Our very special guest in studio this evening is Simone Gabbay, nutrition expert. And the second half of the show, we're going to discuss more of the wisdom she shares in her two books, Nourishing the Body Temple and Visionary Medicine with Edgar Cayce. Simone, once again, great to have you.
Good to be here, Jill.
I've thoroughly been enjoyed going through your books and reading them and talking with you. You're a bright light and you're sharing really important stuff here.
Well, I'm really glad to be here on your wonderful show.
Well, the body, mind, spirit goes well with the whole holistic approach you have.
Absolutely, yes. As Cayce always involved the body, mind, and spirit in all of its healing approaches. And so, yes, it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, it is really great, and there is so many things to cover, but in a half-hour show, the time flies by. In the second half, we thought we'd look at, what to have in the kitchen. Like, for example, what are important utensils to have for a person who wants to cook healthier foods. They want to preserve the nutrients in the food, and what to eliminate.
Right. Well, one of the very unique tools that Edgar Cayce recommended is parchment paper for cooking. And it's become more popular now with chefs. But the special type of paper he recommended is potapar paper, which is slightly stronger than regular parchment, although you can certainly use regular parchment if you can't get potapar. And that, you wrap your vegetables and your meats and fish, perhaps, in this paper, and then you cook it. But all the juices remain enclosed in that pouch. So you don't lose any of the nutrients, because when you cook something in water, the water will leach out all the vitamins and minerals, and you end up with really not enough of the nutrients that we need today.
And I picture those limp vegetables that have been overcooked and tasteless.
Yes.
There's no vitality.
That's true. There's no vitality, and the colors come out of them. The carrots aren't as orange. The broccoli isn't as green when you overcook it, but if you keep it in that pouch, none of it are lost, and you can have all these nutrients, and pour the water over the food later, and it tastes better too. It preserves taste too.
Really? Oh, wow, it's really great.
Yes.
Is this something we can get readily available?
Well, parchment paper you can get in any grocery store. The potapar paper you can get through the Edgar Cayce Canada website, which is edgarcaycecanada.com.
EdgarCayceCanada.com.
Right, and they offer it. You can mail order it through them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not, you can reuse it. It's really not that expensive because you can reuse it. You rinse it and reuse it many times. It lasts a long time.
And that fits in well with the whole recycling theme.
Exactly.
Which is
yes, no waste.
perfect. What about something like a pressure cooker? Would that still preserve?
It does, in fact, preserve nutrients because it cooks the food very quickly. So there's really no chance of nutrient loss because of the short time.
Okay, now something else that's fast, which I'm not a proponent for, is the microwave.
That's true. I don't use a microwave. Studies have been done in Switzerland that have shown that the food is really dramatically altered. The molecules are altered and nutrients are lost, and it's very toxic food. So as much as possible, you want to stay away from microwaved food.